Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a face beat makeover on myself. So there is a huge controversy. Do you do your eyebrows before or after you do your foundation? I honestly switch it up. Sometimes I do my foundation first, sometimes I do my eyebrows first. So here I am doing my eyebrows first. So the way that I learned how to do my eyebrows, as you can see, was using a piece of string. Start, I put it on the side of my nose. That's where my eyebrows start. To find the height, I put it on the tip of my nose in the middle of my eyeball. And then to find where my eyebrow ends, I put it to the tip of my nose and I have it going along the bottom lash line. So right now I've learned to just take a piece of tissue, wipe off any excess harsh lines of my eyebrows that I don't need, and then I put the concealer on it. It covers a lot better. I was checking to make sure my eyebrows stopped at the correct places. So I used a lighter concealer on my bottom of my eyebrow and on my eyelid. And I just kind of put it all over my eyelid. That way when I go to put my shadows, it will pop a little bit more. Something that, girls of color have a hard time with is, colors really popping on our skin. So I've found that when I use concealer and sometimes like an eye primer, it helps. Right now I'm using my translucent powder. I set that on top of my concealer so that it won't go anywhere. So right here what I'm doing is I'm using my spoolie brush and I'm going to clean up the front of my eyebrows. I did not put any makeup on that part, any penciled brow makeup. What I like to do is I will take a eyeliner pencil that doesn't really work very well for my skin. What I ended up doing one day was I ended up using it to make real looking hair-like strokes in my eyebrows. And it ended up working pretty well. So I have a round oval type of face. It's actually gotten even more rounder after, I got older, I had some kids, I gained some weight. So now I have to find makeup that will enhance the parts that I want to enhance and kind of bring back the parts that I don't want. My skin is a combination of oily and dry. So it's dry on the outside, oily on the inside, meaning as you can see, I'm putting only this white stuff only in the center that would kind of make my face look like an oval. So it's called your T-zone. It's that area for me, the nose, my forehead, the balls of my cheeks, on the side of my nostrils. It gets really oily, so I like to use two different primers. So I went and I put the primer on, and then I'm just setting the primer with some translucent powder. I have found that doing that absolutely works wonders. I absolutely love doing it like that. Otherwise, I will see oil seeping through. Sometimes that doesn't even help. Sometimes I don't know what it is about. Maybe it's too hot or something. I don't know. But my skin will say, nope, your sebum is gonna be popping some oil out, sweetie. So right now what I'm doing is I am applying some foundation. I actually use two different foundations. I use a foundation that is on the lighter side for the inside of my face, and then I use a foundation that's on the darker side for the outside of my face. Sometimes I mix them together. Sometimes I put them on my face just like that, and I just kind of try to keep it separate. But this particular day, I just mixed the two colors together on the back of my arm, and I am just putting the foundation all over my face. Foundation, a rule of thumb, foundation is not, I guess you could say foundation is kind of like a layer of skin. It's not supposed to be a different color though. That's something that a lot of people have an issue with, is when people aren't being educated. I'm not mad at people buying makeup. I'm mad at the people that's selling the makeup. They should be the ones educating individuals on what kind of makeup would work best for them. If you're a seller of makeup, you should not let somebody walk out with a color of foundation that is absolutely the wrong color for them. Like I'm showing on the back of my hand, the color that I'm using is basically my color. On the perimeters, you'll see it a little darker because, like I said, I mixed two colors. I'm not mad at people that don't know what they're doing when they go to a store. I'm not mad, and I'm not here to shame them at all. You have no clue how to find your makeup. How do I even begin? There's a bunch of different tricks though. Trick number one, use the inside of your arm. Another trick that people use is like their chest right above their cleavage and like right below their collarbone. That area is very light. That's going to get you your base color. Okay. You want to get your base color because that base color is going to just mixing it with like concealers and color correctors is going to give you that actual color of your skin, but you have to add dimensions to it in order for you not to look like crazy. You can't just put foundation on your face. You have to add colors to make you look human again. So the third thing that you can do is you can mess up on your makeup. Let's say that you buy makeup that's wrong. My advice would be if you can, if you can't, that's fine. If you can, buy the makeup you think you need, buy a shade higher and a shade lower. That way you can, if that is the perfect shade, great. When you run out of that, you can just mix those two colors. Now you have a whole nother bottle. Or if you're wrong, you can add colors, add lighter colors to make foundation lighter, or you can add darker colors to make foundation darker. Sometimes what I do is I'll put my shadows in my foundation if I pick the wrong foundation. If it's too light, I'll put like a bronzer, like a dark bronzer color in my foundation. Same rule applies if your makeup is too dark. You can add colors to make it lighter. So what I do is I always have a bottle of like really cheap foundation. It sucks, and I don't try to use too much of it. I know my foundation, so usually what I do is I don't throw away my bottle. I go back to the store with the foundation, with the color, and I say, this is the color I need. I'm not here to play games. I did not come to 2019 to be playing with my makeup. Give me exactly this color or else we're gonna have a problem. And it works for me. So what I did was I bought a concealer from Pro, what are they called? Pro Concealer. And I bought about 2 shades darker for contouring. That is bringing the areas away that I want to bring away. And then I got about 2 shades lighter for highlighting, which is gonna bring the places on my face that I want to bring closer. So I put the dark color from my ear to like the middle of my cheek. And the reason I did that is because I already have a natural oval face. I don't need to over oval it. So some people with round faces, they should bring that line a little bit more closer to their lip or their nose, however they want to put it. But me, I just have to put it to like about the middle of my cheek, and I kind of swirl it in a circle using a brush to kind of blend that out. And then I make a triangle from the tear duct in the inner corner of my eye to my nostril, and I try to stay like in between the end of my eye and my temple. I try not to pull that too far because I don't want to over exaggerate the circleness of my face. So that's what I did. I used a lighter color on my cheeks, the inner side of my nose, to kind of make my nose more defined. So I put the darker color on the sides of my nose, and I bring that up to my eyebrow. I also put the darker color on my temples, along my hairline, and from the bottom of my ear down my jawline, right before where my chin starts. I'm just putting some setting powder underneath my eyes. I want to let the light color that I put on my cheek, I want that to bake so it doesn't go anywhere. I want to make my nose disappear. I don't want my nostrils there anymore. So I'm using that lighter color to kind of make that, make my nostrils a little softer so that they don't stick out so much, because I do have a humongous nose and I absolutely know that. And to carve out the difference between, my contouring and my contouring on my cheek and my contouring on my chin, but not to lose the color of the foundation in between that area. So I put the setting powder on that so that that part can pop. It looks like I'm adding some, and I'm just gonna do the liner, doing the wing. So yeah, if I do end up putting shadow on, sometimes it falls. And I found that actually Jackie Aina, I follow her. She actually mentioned it, and I love that advice. It was like the best advice anybody ever gave me. Well, not the best, but one of them. And she had said if you put some more setting powder by your eye, what that fallout will land on that, and then you can kind of dust that away when you're dusting away your baking, and then it won't be so bad. And another trick that I learned, I had such a problem with making my black liner pop. Like, it didn't matter what I used. I mean, I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I'm a mom. I'm a regular working person. I don't have a ton of money to dish out. So I wanted to be able to spend money that I actually had, and I use 2 different liners. Well, right now I'm into the liquid liner because it works wonders. The pencil liner has to have like some type of oil in it or something. Honestly, I don't know, but I think it's like some type of oil in the ingredients. So it didn't really get dry, so it would smudge and it would move a lot. The way to avoid that is by putting black shadow on top of your liner. Yeah, and not only did it make the black stick out more and pop more, instead of having that oily, kind of watery residue look, it had more of a matte look. So when I used the liquid liner, the only difference was that, the liquid dries versus the pencil. The one I was using has like some oil in it, so it wouldn't really dry. So doing that was a lot better. And when I realized with the liquid liner was that I put the shadow on top of the liquid liner, and oh my God, it just made everything pop way more. So there is some fallout. I'm not saying you're not going to have any fallout. I'm just saying that putting that powder on underneath your eye will help get the powder off better. It's not foolproof. It's not going to work completely, but it does help. On my lid, I used a lighter pinkish red shadow, and then I will put the darker color where my eye socket starts and my eyeball stops, right in that little gap. And that's how I like it. I went in with like a darker red on like in that little gap of my eye socket, and then I think it was either a darker red or a little bit of black to kind of make the end of my eye pop more. I wanted it to be more like a smoky look at the end. Keeping it below, I'm keeping that dark color. I'm keeping a little bit of space between my eyebrow and where I'm putting the actual darker red color, just so that I can show you guys I'm going to put highlighter there. And yeah, that's pretty much that. So now I'm done baking. So I use a powder that's really close to my skin complexion. I think this is from Bare Minerals. And I use that to help kind of dust away everything and to make everything blend, make everything like fall together a lot better. It's just, like I said, bringing everything together for me. Some people are like, I like it natural. I don't think you need to wear all that makeup. Oh my gosh, you got so much makeup on. Listen, if it's not for you, it's not for you. We're not here to judge. No one can judge anybody. None of us are perfect. We are all going to be judged one day, but not today. So my phone died, so I wasn't able to finish this look on camera, but you will see a picture of it at the end of this video. Please make sure that you remember to comment any of your opinions, subscribe to my channel so that you can show your support, like, share with your friends, and definitely don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when my next video is coming. So I hope you all like the finished look, and you all have a great and beautiful, prosperous day. Thanks. Bye, loves.